It was our team that was excellent. You did a great job.
Shane, 2 minutes after, good enough for real standard time. Maybe an intro and then we'll roll out.
All right, guys, so wanted to thank everyone for coming. Feel free to get up and get more pizza and salad as you need to. But wanted to give a quick mortgage market update before it's going. So rates over the last 3 weeks have stabilized in that mid-6 range for a 30-year fix. 7/1 adjustables have been probably our most popular product, even more so than a 30-year fix. Right now, fixed for 7 years, changes every year after that are in the fives, like 5.75, 5.875. If you're putting 30% down, we have a program that's at 5.625, fixed for 7 years, changes every year after that. Now, that'll be different from a 30-year. 30-year fix would be at like 6.375 or 6.25%. So you're getting a pretty good discount for those 7 years. And the theory is, hey, rates will probably drop. I probably will be able to refinance or pay the loan down, or will I even be in that home in 7 years in the first place? So if you don't have that home, then you don't have that mortgage, right? So that's kind of the theory behind that. But keep in mind that 2-1 buy downs have been all the rage over the last couple of months. It is something to talk about with buyers. On my Facebook page, I have like a 6-minute, I'm not going to do it now, but like a 6-minute dissertation on 2-1 buy downs, how they work, an example of one, and then what I think of them. Is it worth it? If I was, referring that, doing a mortgage for my brother, would I tell him to get a 2-1 buy down? So if you'd like, you can always feel free to email me. I can send you that link, or it's on my business Facebook page. And it's a whole 6-minute analysis of that. And for your clients that might be thinking about, hey, rates are too high, that 7/1 arm, I did an analysis on that, 30-year fixed versus a 7/1 arm, how much money you save over 7 years. And it's thousands and thousands of dollars. On like a $500,000 loan, it's $13,000 to $17,000 that you save over those first 5 to 7 years. So it's significant funds. You had the mortgage for that long. So, and I have a whole analysis and 6-minute presentation that I did breaking down the numbers. So a buyer that's very analytical, it might be good for them. So I can always email those to you guys as you need them. So let me know if you have questions on that. And then for your past customers, we do home equity lines of credit, and we do personal loans too for people that don't even own a home, not tied to a home. We just started to do personal loans also. So home equity lines of credit would be good for somebody who is thinking about listing, not sure now, maybe they have some work to do, they don't have cash, but they have a lot of equity in their home, and they can pull that out now, do the work, do the improvements, and maybe even have that for cash to put down on the home that they're looking to buy, So that's good that when you're just having those beginning conversations with a buyer on selling, that they get the home equity line of credit there, because you can't get it overnight. It will take a few weeks to get a home equity line of credit. So, and if your home is on the market while you're applying, you will be denied, right? Because they know that you want a bridge loan, and you really should be paying a higher rate with points. And you can do that. You can get a bridge loan if your home is listed on the market and get money out, but the rate will be 2% higher, and you'll have a bunch of fees. So, let me know if you have questions about that.
I love the way you framed it, as if it was my brother, which is like
Yeah.
such a great way to frame the content of like, this is important. Is that the relationship was that important? We're gonna get it that way. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of times I won't, when someone's thinking of locking their rate, I won't give my opinion until they make their decision, and then I'll say, hey, here's what's going on in the market. And they say, okay, you know what, I'll wait, or okay, I'll lock in. And I'm like, you know what, I agree with you. And I don't want to make that decision for you because I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll tell them what I truly think after the
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions, guys. If I'm trying to be in the office once or twice a week, but weekdays, weeknights, weekends, call me if you need me. All right.
Thanks, Shane. Thanks for supporting.
All right.
Awesome. Cool. Welcome, everybody. I'm Kurt Wubbenhorst, co-owner of the Wubbenhorst Group. We're in the construction zone on the other side of the wall over there. Today, we're going to talk about social media. This is a really important topic for me. It's how Megan and I built our business. Inadvertently, I think a lot of the things that we initially started to do were things that we did from maybe being millennial, maybe having arts history where I had to get people to care about my band, which is really difficult to do. And as we moved into real estate, social media became one of those things that made our lives so much easier from a lead generation perspective. So we're going to go through a couple things today. We're going to today discuss best practices for using social media. And we're going to discuss a system that you can reproduce every day in order to see results. Social media is one of those weird things where Cody Gibson said this at Family Reunion last year, but everything works and nothing doesn't. So everything that I'm going to tell you is social media best practices by the way that I see it and the way that it works for me. There are a lot of other variations to it. And because of the way your sphere interacts with you or doesn't, some of these things may be slightly different. At the end of the day, almost everything you will do will have some degree of merit. Our job is to kind of assess whether the things we're doing are actually seeing the results that we want. A lot of this is going to tie into lead generation and prospecting. It's going to feel a lot like that. We want it to feel like that, even though I think sometimes when we say lead generation, people have a really negative association with it. We think picking up the phone and calling for sale by owners or expireds and having them yell at us. That's what most people think. If you hear the term lead generation, and that's what you associate it with, you need to disconnect that immediately, because lead generation can be a number of things. That is how we're going to frame our social media conversation today. Social media is super important. Social media replaces the news for most people. That was like a recent study on Twitter. A lot of people actually get their news from Twitter updates, from Facebook updates. People see things through the eyes of their sphere first. Social media is important because it's free. Unlike paying Zillow, please don't pay Zillow for leads. If you do, stop. But unlike a lead source like Zillow, like Realtor.com leads, like any Google pay-per-click, Facebook pay-per-impression, social media is at its core free. It's 100% free for you to use and put up information about yourself and engage with people. It universally integrates with pretty much everybody you're going to interact with, all businesses you interact with, your life, maps, calendars. Social media has been built out. Oh, and when I say social media, I mean, we'll talk about what that means, but every version of social media has pretty much ubiquitous integration with the rest of people's daily life. It's a huge part of everybody's life. And it provides us simple analytics. So as a business page, you can get your basic analytics, or you can get actually more advanced business analytics, but even on a simple form, you can see how many people watch or look at your stories. You can see how many people like your content, how many people comment on things. Those are immediate, direct, very simple analytics of, am I creating conversation through what I'm doing? That's really the big picture of what we're doing. So platforms. Today, we're going to be talking primarily through the lens of Instagram, because Instagram has functionality that ties through everything. Almost everything you can do on Instagram, you can do to a degree on Facebook, and you can see some of the other ones. You guys know the other platforms: YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter. Instagram's the easiest one to go about. Does anybody not have an Instagram account? Okay, sweet, thank God. Most of my actual sphere that churns business lives on Facebook. Which is funny to me, but I think I went to college in 2005, which was right when Facebook was opening up to all colleges. And then by the time Meg went to college in 2007, everybody outside of college too. Most of my sphere that interacts lives on Facebook, but so much of that functionality is tied. It's important that you guys, if you have multiple social medias, if you have Facebook and you have Instagram, it's important for you to think about who's your audience on those platforms. Because for me, a lot of that audience between Facebook and Instagram is really different. based on where my life was when I met certain people. A lot of my high school, college friends live on Facebook. A lot of my professional newer friends live on Instagram. Sometimes those worlds collide. Previous industries I was in will live on one versus the other. So it's important for you to kind of think deeply about the interactions that you're having on social media, where your sphere lives, and how you're going to engage in those platforms based on where people are. So I know that what I do on Facebook will matter more towards engagement. Instagram's kind of catching up, but it's important for you guys to think critically on that. Do you need to use every platform? The short answer is probably, but most people don't have the bandwidth to manage 6 platforms of content. If you're in a position where you're growing a larger business and you have infrastructure, there's a case to be made that the Wubbenhorst group should probably have almost engagement on almost all social platforms. There's probably a case to be made that KW Prosperity needs to be involved on every platform. But really, it boils down to what you can handle. I would always recommend, if you're going to start building your brand on social media, don't just attack everything. Start with something you can start with what you use first. So if you use Instagram a lot, if you use Facebook a lot, start there. If you use Twitter a lot, start there. If you're on YouTube all the time, there's a case to be made that YouTube Shorts are going to take over the TikTok and Instagram world. I don't know if I believe that, but there's a lot of different things. LinkedIn is a whole nother sector too. There's a lot of professional contacts you can have on LinkedIn. Bottom line is, don't just go after everything. Start small and build. I would say prioritize 2, maybe 3 platforms. For me, it's Instagram and Facebook. I would love to work on YouTube. I think that's probably where I'm going next. But let's have a huge infrastructure. Don't think about trying, well, should I get on TikTok? It's like, well, what are you using right now? If you're using Instagram, run after Instagram. If you're using Facebook, run after Facebook. Use what you use and where your sphere is right now. And then just kind of build a plan from there if you have infrastructure to do so. Okay, we're gonna get into the nitty gritty of kind of day-to-day right now. I'm actually gonna, if you guys can just pass these around, I'm gonna give you guys a day sheet that we're gonna reference throughout. First question everybody asks with social media is, what should I post? It's the hardest question for most people to answer. A lot of times it's wrapped up in self-consciousness of, oh, I don't want to put my face on, or I'm uncomfortable saying things, or I don't know what to say, or I don't know what to post. I don't like the way I talk. I don't like the way I sound. You guys can hear all the objections people are telling yourself. We're gonna go through some really simple things. Can I use this, Bill? Do you care if I rip this off? All right, sweet. This is gonna be really fun. Yeah, let's
Teamwork.
teamwork.
I'll get the marker.
I got it. Right, fine.
You should have broke out the Elmo.
I know. Let me put this on the other side, maybe. So. Yeah, no. You're the heaviest one?
There's got too many moving parts.
Thought you're bougier than that, Bill. All right, let me move this thing around. I'm gonna attempt to take notes. If you guys can't read my handwriting, my apologies, it's terrible. All right, so here's a good place to start. I'm really trying to think about what to post. So I shouldn't write. Maggie might have to help me. What to post. First place to start, I want you guys to think about for yourselves. Let's go 3. Number of time. I should get to 4. I majored in problems, so I should be able to have 4. When you're thinking about what you're going to post first, I want you to think about like 3 to 5 things that define you. And it doesn't have to be work related, although work needs to be one of them. So we're gonna put real estate, although I hate actually putting that first. Anybody that's not on my team, do you know what 2 or 3 of my other points are? Not on my team. Think about things for yourself. For me, renovation projects, that's fun. So let me preface that. Do you renovate homes?
I mean, I'm just whatever having my own home.
Okay, cool, yeah. Home. Design. Rehab, that's a good one. Think about those things for yourself. For me, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you'll know that my categories are really simple. It's work, it's family, it's cars, it's music. Really, really simple. I don't have to think too hard about that. Think about the things that you like. Family is an easy one, right? Family is an easy one. Some people are not comfortable sharing their family on social media. That's okay. Completely okay. If you want your family to be anonymous, you don't want people to know about it, that's totally okay. I get more interaction when I post pictures of my daughters than pretty much anything. So I am fully ready to use them for business because I need to pay the bills anyway. Family, think about your hobbies. For me, it's cars, music, whatever else is interesting to you. Pick like 3 to 5 that are going to be your brand identity, your anchor details about your life, the things that are going to matter. Real estate has to be on there, or whatever you're working at. If you're mortgages in Shane's case, but I guarantee when Shane posts pictures of his boys playing baseball, you get probably more sphere interactions than when you post about 7-1 arms because it's a lot less interesting. But then you get to begin the conversations as you create connections. People want to see into your life. There's a reason why the media that you consume on a daily basis is most geared around things like that. It's the reason why influencers exist. It's the reasons why the Kardashians are famous. It's the reason why all of your Bravo TV shows are following people around doing whatever it is that they do. It's the reason we watch HGTV. We're watching people going through real life. The less canned the show is, the better it is for most consumers right now. It used to be the other way, and now it's kind of shifted as people realize that's what people want to see. They want to see a glimpse into your real life. So think about those things that make up your anchor policy. Anchor details. And if you follow me at Kurt Wubbenhorst, you will see pretty much only that. I don't have to think very hard about what I'm posting. It's going to be in one of those buckets. I really don't want any of those things to get too much more pronounced than the other. You guys all know the realtors who have not their business page, personal page, and it's all their real estate career, nothing else. No family, no hobbies. It's boring. And if you look at their engagements, it's going to be very minimal. It's also a great way to sniff out realtors that are faking it, because if you see somebody that has 10,000 followers or more and they have 3 likes on their photo, you know that they paid for them. Don't do that. Please, please, please don't do that. Cool. All right, so types of content. The one that, if you go on Instagram, Facebook, the thing that you're going to see the most is a post, right? So if we opened Instagram and you go to Instagram, the first thing you're going to see in your timeline is a post. Car, so surprising. You're going to see, generally, posts are usually much prettier than your stories or whatever. Your posts are actually the thing I'm going to talk about the least, but this is the easiest way to kind of use your anchor, your brand anchor details. If you go to my profile, drums, cars, real estate, cars, family, real estate, music, cars, music, family, real estate, car, like it's really simple. It's interesting. It's interesting for people to figure out who you are, I'm not a very complicated person. I like doing fun things. I like sharing it. Do you like to hike? That's your passion. You like to, you go to the gym all the time. That's another, people who are into CrossFit won't stop talking about it. This is like the time to figure out what you're about and be able to share it, because you're going to be able to connect with other people. The cool thing is when you actually get to start seeing some of those connections come into fruition. So those are posts. Here's the thing with posts. You don't want to post too much. You're not really here to post multiple posts per day. Unless you're a huge corporate organization. Barstool Sports can get away with it because they have a gazillion followers and a gazillion different platforms and whatever. But chances are, little old you is not going to get value from trying to curate a post every day, right? But it's important for people. This is almost like the front lawn. We always used to say that about Facebook, but your posts are really like your front lawn of your business. This is what people see if they're going to look up. Most people are not going to click on these things, but they're going to see kind of what I'm about, right? This one is probably the easiest one to schedule. Instagram and Facebook have platforms where you can schedule your posts ahead of time. There's other third-party programs that you can use plannily. I wouldn't overthink it, but I would just plan something. You can post daily, you can post 3 times a week, whatever's within reason. But come up with you look through your camera reel, come up with a pretty post, and you're going to post once a week. This is probably the least important part of what I'm going to tell you today, but it's just important for you guys to know. I couldn't do this whole thing and not talk about posts. Now we're going to move into some of the more interactive stuff. So stories. Does anybody not know what a story is on Instagram and Facebook? Okay, cool. So you guys know what stories are. I would be blown away if anybody didn't know. Stories you can share as much as you want. And the important part about stories is you're creating content. This is the single area on social media where your business interactions will churn the most. So if you learn anything today, you want to share stories. Now, it's important for you to have a plan for what those stories are. We're going to go through that in a minute. I guess I passed out that paper, which we'll kind of talk about. I'm literally bulletproofing a plan for you guys to actually do this. You can share as much as you want. It's a great opportunity to monologue. If you're doing something in your normal day and you saw somebody, you saw something funny you wanted to document, or your kid was doing something cool, or I usually regularly share pet peeves. Like I hate when people put their cars in park in the drive-thru at Starbucks. I don't know why, it just bothers me. But I had like 12 real estate conversations just because I bitched about people putting their car in park. Stories are a great way for you to be human and show your face. This is the thing I think people have the biggest personal objections for, because they're like, I don't like the way I sound. And they record the video and they watch it and they're like, oh, that's stupid. Oh, that's stupid. Oh, that's stupid. I'm going to share with you one of Gary Vaynerchuk's like basic principles for stories. And hopefully this will help you not overthink it. Document, don't create. Doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter that your hair or makeup is done. It doesn't matter what clothes you're in. It doesn't matter if you're in the car. It doesn't matter what you look like, what you sound like. It doesn't matter if your voice is high-pitched, low-pitched, do you have a lisp. It doesn't matter what you sound like. Just document it. Whatever it is you're doing, just document it. Stories are a great place to do it. Share as much as you want. Great opportunity to monologue. Share your life. A day in the life through your lens is interesting to almost everybody. Almost everybody. Even if they don't watch all of your stuff, people want to see what you're doing. It could be the old joke 10 years ago was tweeting a picture of a salad, but really people care about like, oh, you ate at a cool restaurant, so we'll take a picture of your food and tag the restaurant. And there's so many things you could do in stories. Make sure if you're sharing content with another entity, like if you, I use the salad analogy, but like let's say you got lunch from Five Guys. I don't know why I'm using that as an example, but you could literally say, like this is my guilty pleasure, whatever. Tag Five Guys. There's brand relation to it. There's something you guys can all leave here today and take a picture of this. You know, it was so great learning from @Kurt Wubbenhorst @the Wub Group. Thanks so much to @Shane Ford or whatever Shane, whatever your tag is. Thanks so much to @Shane Forrest for providing food for today. Learned so much about. I'm trying to cram too many things in, but like there's a case to be made for you to document and connect to everything. For those of you, everybody here is at KW Prosperity, right? this is an awesome opportunity for you to take a picture today and say, another great training at KW Prosperity. Other agents that you may be friends with could see it, and all of a sudden they come over and they're in your downline. That's another huge part of this. So there's so many variations of how you can utilize documenting your day to make your life financially better. All of this points back to you having more conversations that can talk about real estate and bring more business into your world. There are so many ways to use stories. We'll kind of work on elaborate that a little bit, but that's one of your buckets. Next bucket, reels and shorts. So reels are basically something Instagram rolled out kind of in response to TikTok, I think. But and then reels eventually absorbed Instagram TV. Basically, longer than stories, shorter than full YouTube videos, but a place for some of your longer form content to live. Reels are a great place. Reels, shorts, TikTok. This is a great place for content to live. So if you're utilizing reels, some of our reels look like monologuing about things business related things that might matter. Some of them are, we had a client event where we went to the track and it was fun, and you can take videos and cut it up and make it look cool and add music and add text and whatever. I have no skill to do this, and it was easy enough to build a little reel. There's Meg driving fast. There you go. Do you guys get the idea? Reels are a great way to get a little bit creative. I feel like reels are like stories 2.1, because you got to be able to get your stories right before you're able to get your reels right, in my opinion. Yes, you could kind of go the other way, but if you can do stories right, it's going to be so much easier for you to get your reels right. Reels, shorts, anything like that. You're basically collecting content, cutting it up, making something pretty. This is where you would say, all right, I want to collaborate with Shane and say, hey, I have one of my favorite lenders, Shane Forrest. We're going to, Shane, tell us about 7-1 arms. And like, you could literally stand here. We don't need the pretty camera. We don't need any of that stuff. I could literally stand here with Shane. Maybe we'll do it before the end of today, but I could literally stand here with Shane and create a 60-second reel, chop it up really nice so we get to the point really quick, and Shane tells us about 7-1 arms, and that lives in my Instagram feed. I could push it out to other medium. Your reels are a good opportunity to get a little bit more creative. So sometimes people are posting our stories down. You guys are used to maybe documenting your life. Your reels are a great place to take it to the next level. There's also a lot of other things that are attached to it. So you'll have trending songs, you'll have trending filters that go along with it that will all help point to an algorithm to get your reels viewed by more people, other than just people that follow you directly. So it's a really good place to get creative. Think about this one a little bit. Like, it's not just to put it up and go, but it's a great place for you to figure out, like, okay, this week, here's what's happening in real estate. And I want to talk about the rates. I want to talk about the inventory. If you guys do inventory updates, if I went on and did Kinnelon, which is where we're from, I talk about the active UCs and solds and yada, yada, yada. You could do that easily on reels. It's a little bit easier to do that there than shorts. That makes sense, everybody? That's also the easiest place for things to go viral. Not that is the point of what I'm telling you today, but if you create a good first-time home buyer's reel, it can live on your page forever. You can create a highlight for it. It can live on your page forever. Every first-time home buyer every person that connects with you can watch your first-time home buyer reel. And that, if you catch fire with that, it may go out to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. That won't happen with stories. It could happen with posts, not as likely. It's much more likely to happen with reels. So some of your longer term content that's going to sit on your page, reels are a really good opportunity for that. No pun intended. The last piece we're going to talk about is kind of longer form. This is kind of deviating more to the YouTube realm, but kind of same principle. As you guys are building your business, you should be taking time out of your week to work on your business. And one of those things may be, I use a first-time home buyer video as one. That's a great thing to film, and probably something you should have. Maybe an introduction to yourself, maybe a basic seller how-to guide. Longer form things live on a platform for a really long time. YouTube's kind of where I'm pointing to with this, but they can live on Facebook. But it would be, how great would it be if you filmed yourself recording a basic first-time homebuyer's guide, and every first-time homebuyer you meet, you can literally just text them a link, and boom, they have your video. Also good content for you to share back into your other platforms on a recurring basis too. Make sense so far? Those are your types of content, kind of basic how to use it. So I separated the two between content, types of content and types of engagement, because content is engaging by putting it up, but there's also an offensive way to create conversation through content that you don't put up. So types of engagement, almost every platform has a like button. So if you like somebody, liking is like when you're in high school and you like give a head nod to somebody you see in the hallway. That's a like. Your business is not going to be defined on your likes, but it's a good way to stay on somebody's radar of just liking something that they posted. You don't need to drop a comment necessarily. It's good to nod or wave to people once in a while. Maybe a wave. It's somewhere probably between the head nod and the wave. I don't know, but that's a like. Comments. Every platform has a comment feature. So I posted a video of Meg driving at the track, and somebody's like, wow, that's so crazy. I didn't know that you guys did that. And then I get to respond back and blah, 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 blah. You could also outbound comment. If I see Bill talk about something that he did that's interesting, I could say, hey, Bill was working on his Mustang or something, or you put the top down on your Mustang for the first time in the spring. I'm reaching here, Bill, sorry. Put your top down on the Mustang for the first time this spring. I can comment and be like, oh, dude, that's amazing. I missed my convertible, yada, 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 yada. Really quick way to just drop in and have a conversation. Bill may respond to me, he may not, it doesn't matter. At least he's thinking of me. It's like a little bit of a thank you note, a little bit of personality there. Comment's a great way to do it. Okay, just like in the previous section where we're talking about types of content, in types of engagement, story replies and DMs are probably where you're going to get your most business-related interaction on social media. So the idea of DMing somebody with absolutely no reason is not really exciting to most people. But when people are posting stories, it's a really awesome time. If Bill had put that in versus post to a story, if Bill had put that in a story and I respond, oh man, I missed my convertible. Bill, that's just between me and Bill. And if Bill's not a realtor and he comments back, blah, 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 we can begin a two-way conversation. And then I'm going to ask him, how's life? How's work? How's your family? What are you doing this spring? Ford script. Everybody know that? Does everybody know the Ford script? Anybody not know the Ford script? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Bill, how's your family? He's going to respond. Great. How's work going? And he's going to say, pretending you're in some other field. I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions about work. And he's, yeah. And you're obligated. If I ask you we talked about this morning on our team's mastermind. If I ask you 3 questions about work, you have a social obligation to ask me how work goes. So I'm prospecting. Now I'm lead. Now I'm prospecting. I'm prospecting in my sphere to people who know me in some degree. Or maybe don't. Maybe I've been following Bill and he had no idea and didn't know who I was, but now I get to have a conversation. But at least we're having that conversation. And then when you ask me how work's going, I get to tell you my real estate spiel, wherever that is right now. Market's pretty weird right now. Interest rates are kind of in flux. A lot of buyers are on the fence. I see opportunity here. What's up with your real estate journey? Do you guys own? Do you rent? Are you buying? Have you thought about buying? Do you have a lot of equity in your house and you want a HELOC? There's so many other conversations I can have, but at least I have a two-way conversation. So story replies are DMs. They're one-to-one conversations. This is where you can go out and prospect. So if you're trying to figure out how you can prospect today, that's a great place to start because you're avoiding dialing into Mojo and circle prospecting. You're avoiding calling whatever list. Most people don't even know who to call, right? Raise your hand if you don't know who to call today for lead generating. Be honest. Good. So you're going to start on Instagram. It's a great place to start. Thank you for being honest, because I guarantee there's a hell of a lot more hands that need to be raised. It's a great place to start. You can have outbound conversations with people and immediately have real estate conversations just because you're going to ask them about work, and you can do that through DM. Not everybody is going to want to have a long DM conversation with you, but at least you get a shot. At least you get a shot at the prospect. So that's story replies, DMs. I want you to think very much about the way this goes hand in hand. You're looking at doing this because other people are putting stories up. That's you going outbound. When you're creating stories as your content, you're trying to fish for that exact same interaction. So some of the things you're posting, you want engagement. If I post a story about my daughter Zoe she's got this little microphone that has like reverb and effects, and her screaming into this little microphone, I'm going to get people responding to it, and it's on me now to engage that person in conversation. If I have any sort of inbound communication that's more than a like, that's like, oh my gosh, that's the craziest thing, where did you guys get that? I'm gonna say, I don't know, my wife got it, let me figure it out. And if I know anything about their life, that's when I ask a question. If they have a kid, because if they're asking where did I get it, I'm thinking they have a kid. So I'm going to start immediately in the Ford script. How's your family? How's your little one doing? Oh, great, they're blah blah blah. Awesome, that's so great to hear. How's everything going with work? If they work, if they don't, whatever. I'm immediately going into that conversation. So when you think stories, you're fishing when you're posting, and you're hunting when you're not posting. So you're doing a little bit of offense, a little bit of defense. Defense, offense. I don't know how I would categorize it too, but that makes sense, right? Does that make sense to you guys? Cool. Fourth type of engagement, a share or a repost. A lot of people do this in lieu of posting other important things. So don't let this clog up your feed. But a share or repost is a great opportunity for you to collab with another friend, another business, or just repost something that you like. A lot of realtors actually do this really well, where they'll repost a design page. Bill does this all the time, actually. They'll repost a design page. Everybody pretty much knows what kind of house Bill Boswell wants, because he shares that. He shares his aesthetic in that sense, right? There's a lot of ways that you can use that share feature. If Shane puts up a video about 7-1 arms, I can share that and say, awesome info from my guy Shane Forrest, and then all of a sudden there's a good loop there. Shane's pumped because he sees me reshare his content, and it's useful to my database. So whether it's something as simple as an aesthetic share, whether it's actually a business value add, or it's just something that interests you. If I post a picture of or a video of a Ferrari F40, the best sounding car ever, ripping off the line, like my car friends are gonna be like, oh my gosh, dream car, hashtag dream car. And then I can go, that's awesome. What are you doing to achieve your dream car goals? Can I help you buy a 2-family so you can start making passive income? Whatever. I wouldn't go that hard right away, but you get the idea. The idea is we're trying to elicit conversation based on everything that we're posting, every interaction that we're having, everything that you do, every single thing that you do on social media has the potential to have interaction. You're not posting, nobody posts for nobody to see it, right? The reason you post is to show other people. I post my daughters because I am proud. I'm a proud dad and I want to brag. And that's the reason people post. They want to share. So if you're going to share, you're sharing because you want conversation. You want feedback. When you get that feedback, different from our friends who are just trying to show off, our feedback, we're going to try to turn into business. Organically, we're going to have real conversations. Those are your types of engagement. Does that make sense? Likes, comments, replies, or DMs, and shares and reposts. Did I miss anything? Types of engagement. All right. So let's make a plan. You heard document, don't create. It's one of my favorite Gary Vaynerchuk-isms. He literally just documented wine tasting at his dad's wine store, and now Gary's a billionaire that's going to buy the New York Jets at some point. Document and don't create is a really important principle, because you don't want to seem canned. You don't want to seem overly canned. Most of you probably don't have the production things to be able to make something look super amazing anyway. So it doesn't matter. Just document the things in your life. A principle that I've always been true to in real estate is telling the story. If you post just closed about a buyer of yours and you don't share the story of that buyer, it's one of the biggest misses of sharing a life of listing or a life of contract post. Every single person that you close a deal with, you should be able to tell that story. Every single scenario, whether you helped out in a state when they're, when a loved one passed and you help them quarterback all the details while managing the family members, or it's a first-time home buyer and they never thought they'd be able to buy a house and they got approved. Shane approved them for a loan, and now they're homeowners and they're so excited to start their journey in Wayne. Whatever it is, every single thing you post about real estate, tell the story. You can even tell the story about yourself. I must have shown these guys 100 freaking houses, but I would do it again because I'm so happy that they bought this house and they're going to have a happy life forever after. Everything you do, you can tell the story. Business wins. When you're posting your picture here of how awesome this class was that Kurt Wubbenhorst taught, you could say, this is, I learned so much in this. I can't wait to implement this stuff in my business. I never knew coming to KW, Bill's gonna love this. I never knew coming to KW Prosperity, I was gonna learn so much about my business. This office really cares about seeing people grow, blah, 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 blah. You have other agents come over and I have people on your downline. I know there's not enough people that have a relationship with it. Who has people in their downline? Okay, we're gonna work on that. Profit share is like so important in your business. So anyway, you should do that. You should do that today. So at some point today, take a picture of me and go, wow, that's a boomerang. That's so cool. All right. So I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do every day. This is not, do we have extras? Do we leave off some of that? No. If you didn't get one, grab one over there. I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do today. And I gave you a really nice packaged sheet to do so. So this is my day sheet. I literally use this every day. We've used a variation of this. Meg built this when we first got into the business. I was using this from like month one when we were running Bill's team when we first got licensed. There's a lot of valuable things here. I'm going to go through not the social stuff right away, just because I want to share with you so you guys can implement this immediately. Also, Grace just put this up on our website, so you can actually download this as a PDF. Go to the Wub Group, WUB group.com. You'll see the address at the bottom. /day sheet, one word. You can download this PDF. You can use it. It's my gift to you today. My secret one sheet that I'm very proud of. We just recently redesigned this so it looks prettier. So your date. I literally print this 2 sides on a paper. I'm going to write one. Bill, this is actually innovating from your blank page.
I'm looking at it here and I'm probably gonna steal it.
Good, please do. I put 2 on a page so I can copy this to the next day, and then when I print out the next sheet, I'll go and then I just write scrap on the back if I need it. And that's it. And then I throw it away. When it's done, I throw it away because I've already transferred any carryover to the next day. Date. Top right is your big why. These are the things that power you. These are the things that you think about. These are things you may post about. My why today said Long Beach Island house, freedom via leverage, less stress, finished 26 Highlands Drive. I've owned it for almost 3 years, so we can't live there. And race car. Those are my 5 big whys for today. It can change. You can write the same thing every day. It doesn't matter. Those are my big whys today. 10 things you're thankful for. And think of new things. If you find yourself listing the same things over and over again, just try to go through stream of consciousness, things you're thankful for. Sean Annan will love that, since he's always looking for tell me something good. At least you have 10 things that you can think of next time you're at a sales rally. To-do list with check boxes. Lead gen on your right. Today's target. What are you targeting? Are you targeting your sphere today? Are you targeting expireds? Are you targeting, who are you targeting? Outbound is a numerical value, how many outbound calls you have. I use it as a tally. So I had an outbound call, tally, outbound call, tally, outbound call, tally. The next one is 2WC, which is two-way conversation. You can write that underneath if you can't remember. Two-way conversation means you had a conversation about real estate. They responded to you, you talked about real estate. I use that as a tally too. That includes text, that includes social media. Two-way conversations, great way to track what you're doing. And if you're really organized, put it in a spreadsheet so you can actually follow your lead generation activities. Lead follow-up, I put 20 boxes there because 20 follow-ups a day is a pretty good number. Now at the bottom, this is what we were actually talking about, but I just wanted to kind of go over the top so it's valuable to you. Here's your plan every single day. These are tallies also, by the way. You're gonna put how many you do. Comments, 5+. You're gonna comment on 5 people's things every day. Easy enough, right? Comment, 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 comment. You can do more, be an overachiever. It's great, but at least do 5. Likes, hallway head nod. You're gonna do at least 5. Easy enough. Please do more, but 5's minimum. DMs or story replies. This is the big one. Make sure you put an asterisk around it or a star so you know that this is your real dollar producing activity here. You can do 5 of these. You're gonna scroll through the gram or scroll through the Facebook, the old Facebook machine, and you're gonna respond directly to 5 people. And you're gonna check that off. And if they respond, then you have a two-way conversation. Nice little check mark in two-way conversation. Next one is stories, 5 stories of your own. Checking this box is going to be very important for you to make sure. A lot of times you get to the end of the day and you're like, I didn't post anything. I didn't, which you could rephrase to yourself as, I didn't advertise at all today. Which would suck because that means you're not in business. If you don't have any conversations about real estate and you do no marketing and no conversation, you did not work. Just simple. So make sure you post stories.
So you post 5 stories a day?
5 stories. I try to. Don't always hit it. Sometimes I do what you want, but that's a great starting point.
You consider a personal post with your kids?
Oh, yeah.
Advertising, you do?
Yes, I do. Because I post pictures. If I post pictures of Zoe doing anything, I'm like guaranteed at least half a dozen conversations in my direction. It's easy enough.
And you're communicating with people, and that's
yep. And that's the key. That's the other key part. Don't just put the phone down. Like you got to make sure that you respond. But yeah, I consider that a post. You'll see where I loop this back at the end. Oh, right now. First box, bottom left. RE content, real estate content. At least 2. 2 of your things that day are going to be real estate content. 2 of your stories. Could be a house you're showing. Could be a closing. I always used to do the close back when I went to closings. I always used to do a little boomerang and play Semisonic's closing time every single time. It became a joke, and people were like, "Wait, you had a closing? I didn't hear closing time." Real estate content, 2 per day. Day in the life, 3. Those 2 can make up your 5 stories. So 2 pieces of real estate content, 3 day in the life things. It could be your Starbucks drink. It could be traffic. It could be anything. Your kid, could be a sport, could be a hobby, could be your car in my case, or my band, it could be anything. Your Alex, whatever hobby it is you're doing today, shooting, archery, MMA, could be anything. Could be makeup, ladies. It could be like, oh my gosh, this new whatever makeup thing, or
Name any piece of makeup.
I don't know, all Jaclyn Hill stuff or what, like,
All right.
I don't know, she's an influencer. She's done very well for utilizing social media. Whatever, I don't know. Your hobbies are my hobbies, except makeup, I don't know. Hair, I don't know. Day in the life. You get, hair, perfect example, hair. You post pictures about your hair. How many people ask you about your hair? How much business have you sent your hairdresser?
So much.
She side house business.
Yeah.
Ipso facto, business. You'll see this second to last box. I put mastermind invite. My team hosts a mastermind twice a week. One of them is open for non-team members and outside agents to jump in. It's a downline recruiting tool for my team. It's a recruiting tool for KW Prosperity, and more people always add to the conversation, which is great.
I do have a question.
Sure.
What, then, if you're posting everything on story, do you post anything on like the news feed or?
Yeah, that was at the very beginning. That was like literally the first thing we covered. That's, yes, you're gonna take something from your anchor details, one of the 3 to 5 things that are about you, and create a reasonable schedule that you can build that ahead of time, create a reasonable schedule that you can post 3 times a week.
But you
5
don't
times.
do that every day.
I don't do that every day.
Got
I do it probably less than I should. Probably less than I should, but I also, from making posts, I don't have as many business creating conversations. I do it it's like basic marketing and advertising for me. That's the way I look at posts. That's where, because you can engage with the story, like direct one-on-one conversation. So that's where we're going.
Because it's not out there.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct. Last box on the right. This is probably the hardest one for everybody to figure out, but what a great one if you could do it. Call to action. So you could put like a little question box, and don't put it like ask me anything unless you're Gen Z, where your friends actually do that. Make your call to action something relevant, especially around business. You can make a call to action. What is your, I did a call to action one time that got a ton of engagement. What's the most overrated town in North Jersey? You would not believe the responses. It was like overwhelming. Wayne. But any call to action that you can do, it could be simple, it could be funny, it can have some personality attached to it. Any call to action you could do, when you get those responses to call to action, who's in bold? Who's in bold? That's a reverse bold 100. If you can get 100 people to respond to you, that's a reverse bold 100, which is like you deserve a medal if you can pull it off. That's how to do it. How do you get 100 people to call you? That's how you do it without giving something away, which we basically can't do. That's a great way to do it. Call to any sort of call to action that elicits a response. Really, really simple. Not the easiest one to do, but really, really simple. So that's your action plan. Those 8 things. If you could, 7, mastermind invite's kind of a bonus, but you could have invited them to people to a training like this today or some event like that the market center is holding. Do those 7 things, and you will have a bulletproof day plan of getting your sphere to know what you're doing. If you're doing the right things, you will start to have conversations with random people in public that you know, oh my gosh, looks like business is going great. If people say that to you, you're winning the Mindshare game. All of this is about Mindshare. That's it. It's about people thinking of you either first or second, because they only have room for 2 of any service individual, thinking of you either first or second. If you're second, it really doesn't matter because you're the other choice to number 1. It's important that you just get in the heads 1 or 2 of the people that know you. Everybody knows a gazillion realtors. There's 100,000 of them in New Jersey. It's too many. You do this every day. People will know who you are. They'll know what you do. They'll know what you're about. They'll know how to have conversation with you when they see you. That's what we want. If you see somebody in public and they have a conversation with you and they already know a bunch of things about you, if I walk into a conversation and somebody's like, oh my gosh, your daughter's getting so big, boom, I can talk with this person as long as I want, and I'm gonna loop real estate in there. It's easy. Or, oh my gosh, you guys went to the track. I so want to do that one day. Oh, it's awesome. Come out with us. How's everything going? Blah, blah. Like immediately go to the board script right away. Right away. Right away. Any questions, thoughts, comments? No.
So you're talking about making a plan. I wanted to know what your plan is when you look at your feed, if it's timed every day, or how do you choose who to engage, or how do you manage your feed?
I have a perfectly organized schedule that I execute to perfection every day. And I'm looking at it at the exact same time. No, I'm terrible with my schedule. It's one of the biggest things I'm working out this year. I shouldn't say I'm terrible. I've gotten a little bit better, but no, I look at it more than I should. Is probably the answer. But I don't know that that's the answer for everybody. I don't know if I have a good way to answer that. I think you have to think about what your relationship with social media is. If you're like me, where I think my right hand is touching my phone more than it's not, I'm not really concerned about that because I'm going to naturally do it. But I just need to stay organized, which is why I do this. organization is the key if you're neurotic about it. If you're not, if you're never in the media, then this will be helpful because it's just a checklist item. Well, I hate going on social media, but I'm just gonna log in and get the stuff out of my way. Okay, cool, then you're done. So I think it's different. It's a little bit of a different answer, I think, for everybody based on what they're doing. I think.
Do you have more ideas for something that would elicit a response, like your example, what's the most overrated town in North Jersey? Like those conversation starters that get people in your DMs.
I think about it like stream of consciousness. It's real, that's like the hardest thing. You have to keep a log of it. I have like a log of a lot of things. Because I'm not gonna remember it when I need it.
Oh.
And I'm gonna need it when I have nothing in my brain. So as those things come to my mind, I try to write them down so I have stuff. We're in process of starting to shoot a podcast. And like, I don't even know what topics, like I have to like think about them ahead of time and record them. So I know when we actually sit down to record, I have something like baked and planned. But yeah, I mean, that's a funny one, but it could literally be anything. Like, what's your holiday drink cups come out of Starbucks? What's your favorite holiday drink? Is pumpkin spice overrated?
Yeah.
And you could go really on the nose with real estate too. What's the best? What's your favorite home style? Do you hate bi-levels? Yes or no? It's like, I don't know, like just thinking of, would you ever live in a flood, like things that are relevant around here, which if the house was amazing, would you ever live in a flood zone?
One thing you love about your house, one thing you hate about your house.
Yeah, one thing you hate about your house. That's a good conversation. So thank you, Chris. Good job. The one thing you hate about your house, because then if you have that conversation, oh, I hate that we have no basement. When do I get to find you a house with a basement? Let's fix it. Nice and easy. Yeah, it's a really good one.
I guess it's easier when you like it, so even if you have to force the issue with the social media thing, I mean. So this is good, just to do the checklist thing. Do you find that people start to like it after they?
I don't know that it matters. I think there's a lot of people that hate it that do really well because it's mechanical.
Right.
And that makes it actually it makes them less tempted to deviate from the goals. And then I think content wise, people that like it probably have an easier time developing content, but also an easier time getting distracted.
I think you hit those points where you say things that you like, your hobbies,
Mhm.
then it might make it easier for me to. Engage.
Yeah, I don't think,
As far as votes.
I don't think liking something is, which is funny because I've literally only ever done stuff that I love to do. But I don't think liking something it needs to be a work predicator, because you can like the effect of the work, and that could be the thing that powers you, which might be the reason why you need to write all the things and why or what you're thankful for. Because if I want to send my daughters to Pingree more than I hate to cold call, I will cold call. I don't know if I want to send them to Pingree, but
No, that makes sense.
you get the idea.
I sold the house for finger people.
Yeah, I'm looking. It's in my mind. It's in my mind. I'm shot at the client in a second and listen to it.
It's a beach house.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's like if I want an LBI house more than anything, I will work to do it. So I think that's self-mastery, I think.
So, okay, so I know you said post a few times a day about real estate, whether it's on your story or your page. Say it's a day where you're just working from home, you don't have any showings or anything, you're just doing transaction management and prospecting at home. What are some interesting things you can post? That
The not so glamorous side of it. I have to stop before I answer the question. I have to stop that line of questioning when you said prospecting at home after you said kind of working from home and transaction management. So let me strong asterisk, if you do not prospect, you didn't work.
Right, so say you are a prospect.
Say you are a prospect.
So I do prospect from home.
Sure.
But like, how do I make that into?
Think
my
about, so you could create a morning routine, something in your morning routine that you share regularly. I was trying out and then I forgot to do it and now I've fallen off it, but I was like sharing a song every morning. It could be like if you go to if you do some like workout in the morning, if you get on your Peloton, you can share that. One of the guys on our team does like a 6 a.m. gym shot every morning. It could be the weather, like a view out of your home office. You could get really into the aesthetic of your home office and share that.
Cooking something.
Yeah, breakfast.
Thing.
Yeah, I mean, I would think about your routine too. If your morning routine to prospect and work from home is serving you, you should have enough things to share. If you really dig into all those things that I just said and maybe think about it, if you really can't think of anything, like I get out of bed and go right to the desk. You may have a not healthy morning routine. So I think it would, I think really high level view on that of like, is my morning routine productive and healthy? And if it is, let me share a couple things from that.
Oh, yeah.
So
Kurt, how do you handle the people you should know, people who might be interested? Do you just click on, when Facebook or whatever says
No.
other people?
No.
How do you handle it?
most realtors that friend me, I decline. Almost every lender that friends me, I decline. I do not need them on my page. You only get 5,000 friends on Facebook, and I'm not about to let Johnny at EXP out of Keyport, right? Like I don't care. I literally don't care. But I want to go after people I know, people that would have a name recognition.
So you scroll through them and you look, because maybe the name doesn't strike you, and it turns out it's whatever.
A co-broke, yeah, I'll friend a co-broke.
No, I don't mean co-broke. I mean, like you look through and it says like, I have tons of people names. Who the is this?
Yeah, I wouldn't worry
And
about
you
it.
just look it up and you say, and then you look at their mutual friends, and as long as they're other than real estate or mortgaging, then.
I don't even really go out of my way to friend new people, to be honest with you, unless I know them.
Just stick with your.
Yeah. Yeah, people you may know, I don't. It
What's
doesn't.
that point? What's that sector? How many friends should you have?
You should try to have as many connections as you can, but connections that have.
1,000, is it 3,000? Is it,
I
you
think
said you only have 5,000? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Facebook caps you at 5,000, and I've got like 3, I think, and if I get close to 5, there's going to be people I'm gonna have to clear out. I have a lot of like people I'm connected to nationally from when I was on tour, and they were just fans of the band I was playing with. And like some of them I actually still have communication with, but a lot of them I just have to goodbye.
How do you do that? Is that you just
Unfriend.
Oh, you really? Oh, no.
I'm unfriending you.
Okay.
When Francis, you next.
Quick question, because
Yep.
that kind of ties into that.
Mhm.
Would you recommend doing a separate page for your real estate persona versus like your personal?
Business page, yes, you should have a business page, no question. Your business page should have business things on it. If you're a single entity, it matters a little bit less if you're not paying for some sort of pay-per-click advertisement. You could go your entire real estate career as a single agent and not have a business page if you're not advertising.
Like my personal Instagram, if I built whatever following on there, then I started creating like a separate one that's like more professional, I guess, like more of a business thing. But
So
then
less
it's
people
hard-
will see it.
Yeah, so it's harder to build a following there. I'm like, it's better because I have more connections on.
Yeah, there's not a really easy way to answer it. Like we have a business page, any team here will have Francis has a business page that's very well run. At a certain point with business, you have to have a business entity, but it's a challenge because everything that I post on my personal page, I have to make sure I tag my business in it if that audience is going to see it. And everything my business posts, Greg, our creative director, tags everybody, so everybody can repost it. You have to do that for crossover. It does make your posting content a little more challenging. Instagram, I would hold out as long as you possibly can. Make your one account work for you. I would not put a business account as a single entity. If you have a big team, something you're gonna need to think about, or a partner or whatever. But as a single agent, I would not have a business Instagram. Facebook, yes, because it's a little bit easier for compliance, because your Facebook business page can have all your compliance stuff on it, so that everything that you share to your personal page will be compliant. But Instagram, I would hold out if you're a single agent as long as possible.
So my question was actually going in that direction, because I just realized, I actually pulled it up, that you have like your Instagram business page. I don't follow that, so I don't ever see that. I see your pretty kids and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge, like trying to keep, because the people that I work, deal with mostly are on Facebook,
Mhm.
on my personal page.
Right.
But because I have to have a business page on Instagram, then I have a business page on Facebook. And sometimes, I do have a great page, thanks to Humana,
Mhm.
but some days I'm like, where is it? Where is it? And I'm like looking at the reels, and then I'm looking at Facebook, and then I'm looking at the team, and then I'm like, so it's. I was wondering
Yeah.
like how you keep that like easier or more together.
It's not easier. It's not easier. So let yourself off the hook. I think we had to come to grips with that. Your business page will be clogged up with business things. And you will get less likes because of it. The challenge is always trying to integrate those two things to make your business page is completely uninteresting unless you give people a reason to be interested in it. And that's 100% the challenge. So
I mean, I look at it more like if somebody's thinking to hire me and they go in there,
Right.
they see, and that's kind of what that's treated as.
Yep.
And I always tell people, if it's a story and I did it, it's only gonna be on Francis Rosado personal.
Mhm.
Everything else is pretty much coming from Blue Ocean.
yeah, it's
And I
tricky.
think what I kind of felt that my new thing is, so you know how every day people come up like your birthday? My new thing is every day I look at his birthday.
That's a great prospecting one.
And
Happy
yeah,
birthday.
I do, but I either wish you a happy birthday for them, mind you, because I had way too many realtors on my page. I mean, they know, I had way too many realtors on my page, all over the country that I've met at this conference, that one.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm never probably gonna get a referral, I'm not gonna transact, you're very nice, but I don't need you. And as soon as I got intentional.
But what about all your El Paso referrals? See,
Maybe Florida, maybe Pennsylvania, but at the end of the day, once I started doing that intentionally and looking for my clients and looking for them and friending them or tagging them. I started to actually get back on with my past clients.
Yeah.
There you go.
Birthdays are a good one, but yeah, the business personal is always a challenge. If you're a single agent, I would not overthink the business one. Unless you're really excited to spend money on advertising, you really don't need a business page right away. Just my personal opinion, because like you said, your personal Facebook, it's more business. No question. That's your sphere of business. That's what we're here to do.
I mean, I
But-
just try to keep girls who really ask, trying to be my business.
Yeah.
And thanks. I'm friend Kurt, I'm friend Francis.
Any other questions? Anyone else?
Yeah,
I just,
no,
like polls or like the like slide thing.
Yeah.
Are those useful? Or I feel like they're kind of cheating.
No, they're cheating.
Unless you DM them.
They're cheating unless you DM the people that respond to you, right? So the question was, if you have like an either or, like a poll or a sliding scale, that's not really that's not a call to action. So don't count that. You don't get to count that. Because somebody saying your photo of your coffee is fire is not really a call to action.
so my daughter saw that I had like 300 friend requests on my Facebook thing when they first put it up. And they just went down there. Which probably got 50 realtors on that.
That's
You can also get hacked very easily.
Yeah, I would stress too much about having people that you don't, that like are invaluable, like are not valuable, not invaluable, that are not valuable on there. Until you're really maxed out. Most of us have a ways to go.
So friends with a lot of realtors, yeah, which is.
That could be good.
There are some things that are just, not just.
Yeah, could be good. In a season where you've recently moved brokerages too, that could be valuable. That's, I know I've said profit share, but like, when you talk about prospecting. You should be thinking about your profit share as part of your prospecting, because we have a very mediocre. Profit share trade, and we made. Almost what was it, 22,000 last year on profit share? That's not like, that's good money, and that's actually passive income. For the 12 agents in our downline, or however many we have, I don't even think it's that much. So, great opportunity to prospect to co-brooks, so. Don't throw all the agents out, but, ones that are valuable, you wanna keep. Cool, any other thought before we jump? Awesome, thanks, guys, thanks for coming, hope it was valuable.
Thank you.